Good morning, welcome to the Beach Business Breakfast Show. This morning we have Tristan with us from CareTrac. How are you, Tristan? You going well?
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yep, very good. So just a reminder about the Beach Business Breakfast, third Thursday of every month, 7:30 till 8:30. $10 gets you informal networking, great opportunity to meet new business people, contacts, people that you can help, they can help you. For more information, beachbusinessbreakfast.com.au. So, hello Jeremy, how are you?
Good, Dave. Having a great morning, thank you.
Yeah, it's been
bright and sunny and out of the wind.
Still very nice, yeah. Surf's fantastic. Dropped off a little bit, but yeah, still looking good. So, Tristan, with CareTrac, tell us a bit about what you've done up to now that sort of led you to where you are.
I've had a few different roles, mostly working with startups and just establishing their business model and looking at how we can expand businesses and broaden into different markets. I've worked in Singapore previously and just basically got into the business development side.
Yep, so what sort of businesses have you helped over the years?
It's been a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. It's mostly been around the fitness industry. I've worked with a company called Athlete Lab that does athlete training for cyclists, as well as worked for Giant Bicycles for a while and then Genesis Health Clubs.
Okay. And you were a professional rider or semi-professional rider at one time?
You got a cyclist gait about you.
Yeah, I spent the best part of 8 years on and off racing just in Australia on National Road Series.
Oh, okay, cool. Did you have like good success, or did you win some races, or were you like a domestique?
Yeah, I was more a domestique. I can't sprint, but our sprinter on the team used to be pretty good. But no, I enjoyed it, that's for sure. So.
That gave you opportunity to network with that industry, right? Like that seems like that would be an ideal opportunity to meet with the manager or CEO of Giant or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's how you make the contacts. It's all networking.
So eight years of making friends in the industry, so that then you can springboard into other interesting roles once you're not cycling anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Excellent. So with you said the gym industry for a little while, and then is that owned by CareTrac, or how does that work? The gyms that you're working in, were they?
Yeah. Different. So with Genesis, they're part of the Belgravia Leisure Group, which are quite a large organisation. Okay. And it was through my work with Genesis that I met the current owner of CareTrac, John Perlow, and after a few discussions with him, I moved from a role with Genesis into working for John directly.
Yep. So with Genesis, what were you doing there, and what was your role?
So we opened a new club at Charlestown, a bit of a different concept to their traditional big box gyms. We opened one which is a smaller, more personalised type studio, and it was just refining the model to look at rolling out to, it's a changing market, the gym industry.
So how did you get sort of customers to the new gym at Charlestown if it was a different sort of concept?
A lot of sort of word of mouth type marketing, a lot of your Facebook and social media marketing, but really it's just getting the word out there that we're doing something a bit different, that we're not just your traditional big box gym, we're a lot more personalised. So,
This must be a competitive market. I mean, it seems there are many and different types of gyms, so you do have to work hard to differentiate and say, look, this is why this is suitable for this type of person. Is that?
Yeah, it is, and it's a very rapidly changing market as well. It's very boom or bust type market where there's been a number of fads over the years. The industry itself, there's nothing revolutionary about fitness. It's just moving, but it's the sales spin is changing over the years. So if you think back to when things like Taibo boxing and all your aerobic stuff were popular, they're all gone now.
So
and
it's
now
like
it's more functional.
Trend in type of fitness is sort of comes along, but also the 24-hour gyms, that's a reasonably recent sort of phenomenon in Newcastle anyway, I suppose. It seemed like a sort of popped up in the last few years, I guess. So.
Yeah, it is, and it's very much at the stage now where you need to be 24
You
hour.
almost have to, unless you're like a specialist class type, your mates turn up and go for a run with you. Unless you're that, you have to be there whenever people want to work out at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
With some people with shift work and that sort of stuff, they might finish work at 2 in the morning, and if they were finishing work at 5 in the afternoon, they'd go to the gym, so they might just want to go do a quick session on the way home. Or
exactly. So
what about? I suppose you've also got like CrossFit that's become quite popular?
Yeah, there is. CrossFit has probably been, well, I wouldn't call CrossFit a fad. I think it's here to stay, but that's been the latest one that's really taken off in Australia.
Yeah, it's a format of sort of gym and workout, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's very high intensity, shorter workouts as opposed to going at your own pace.
Good way to get injured if you haven't done anything for a while.
It can be.
And also I suppose there's lots of personal trainers around as well now, and like you see along the beach, there's boot camps and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, that's another thing. In the last few years, the boot camps has really taken off. I think that's probably peaked now. As with anything, great concept comes along, everyone jumps on board, floods the market a little bit, and then it's reached its peak. So
I imagine there's no shortage of people that would want to work in your gyms, would there?
No,
would there be, from people who've done like personal training courses or those sorts of things?
Yeah, no, we work very closely with the Australian Institute of Personal Trainers and develop trainers and make sure that they're up to a certain standard, and it's always interesting to see what sort of personal trainers or people get into personal training, because it's not all young out of school people like you'd think. There's actually a lot of people that want that career change. They've worked in management roles for the last 15 years, but they've always been into fitness themselves and decide that they want to take
sick of
plunge.
sitting behind a computer screen and run around or something.
Yeah.
So you are fairly involved in at least the strategy of the marketing for the gym, right? Like it's part of your remit. So it seems to me like obviously there's this base of people who are inherently interested in fitness. They know what a gym is. They have maybe a membership or their health fund or something. Like they're already engaged in being in a gym. It's just which one do I go to?
Yeah.
How do you break into the people who don't go to a gym and are the sort of new market? Because I guess that's the untapped resource, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of the time it's changing their perception to what a gym is. People still have this perception that a gym's like what it was in the 80s with Arnold Schwarzenegger looking guys working out.
Real ripped abs and big muscles and sweaty guys.
And it's not about becoming that ripped Adonis, basically. It's about just being able to improve your quality of life.
And being healthy.
Exactly. People are realising now that they want to be able to still have an active life in retirement. They don't want to retire and just sit on the couch at home. They want to be able to do their trip around Australia. They want to feel active and be
There's
able
an increasing awareness that activity equals health too. I mean, I don't know, it's not complete solid evidence, but it was on Catalyst something a week ago where it was like, well, fitness during cancer treatment possibly equals better outcomes or something. Like there's a greater awareness that sitting on your ass is a good way to die. So moving, whatever that looks like, whether it's a gym or
I think it's about
down the beach.
Like Stephen Covey said about sharpening the saw. You've got to keep yourself fit and healthy and be more active, and you can be more involved and those sorts of things. One of the other trends, I suppose, is women-only gyms. That seems to have come up a bit. Do you guys have women's-only gyms as well, or is it just
on the CareTrac network, we do have some women's-only gyms, and they're great. It's a different demographic of women. It tends to be older or people that are shy to the industry.
That's a great idea because as an unfit person stepping into a gym with people who are probably reasonably fit,
can be
quite
daunting.
Embracing, far out, even if you sort of feel brave.
It can, and that's where in my role with CareTrac, we work with the corporates a lot as well.
So tell us a bit about CareTrac and what it does.
So we're basically a network of facilities. We're not aligned to just one brand of gym. We have over 400 gyms, aquatic centres, massage, yoga. We even have some rock climbing centres on our network. And we provide this to large employers and government departments. So the type of companies we work with are ones that are in multiple locations and could not do a deal with just one particular gym chain.
Health fund or like a retail chain that's got lots of a supermarket or something with lots of areas.
Exactly, where they're in every regional town and they couldn't just do the deal themselves with one particular gym. especially a lot of companies quite often will have, say, a gym at their head office on
Yep.
site,
Yeah.
and their regional employees or employees in other offices feel like they're missing out. Their head
So
office
you,
gets
so you
everything.
aggregate that access with a card or whatever, some sort
Yep.
of membership,
Yep.
and it means, I might be working in Newcastle or Sydney or Dubbo or whatever,
Yep.
and if there's one of those 400 facilities, then I've got access to that when I'm there
Yep.
as an
I
And-
think it's paid by the fortnight. Is that how it works? Or-
It's a weekly debit that,
A weekly
that
debit,
they pay. Depends on the employers. Some employers fully subsidise it, some
Yep.
partially subsidise it, some it's just paid by the employees.
Yep.
But it works out cheaper than usual gym access, and
Yeah.
because of the range of facilities, you can go for a swim at the aquatic centre in the morning and then go to a gym that
Yeah,
night.
rather than sort of join two different things or get a membership card at
Yep.
two different
Seems
outlets.
like that would be increasingly how people will approach joining a gym then. I assume it's get cheaper than joining all of those separate facilities, right? It's a
it
decent
is.
sort of cost saving.
Yeah, it is, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. If you don't like a gym, you're not tied to it. You can go to
Yeah.
another one. If
Yeah.
you usually train at a gym near your house, but you're working back at night, you can just go to the gym close to your work. So
Yeah.
it's that
Yeah.
flexibility that people
Excellent.
like.
So you target like big employers? Is that what your role is?
Yeah, it is. So my role is twofold. I talk to the big employers, and we also come up with the strategies on how to roll it out as well.
Yep.
Work with their wellness teams. You're getting increasingly in big organisations. It's no longer just an HR person that sort of does this wellness on the side. It's full-time wellness employees.
Yeah.
So we look at what solutions they want, whether they want to do things in-house, and we can do anything from just simple things like flu vaccinations for employees through to work cover screening. And the core of our business is just providing that access.
Excellent. So there are links between healthy employees and absenteeism. They've been shown.
Well, that's
There's
your
definitely
outcome as a business to reduce people not being at work, right?
Yeah, there's numerous studies that we can show that people that are fit and active, reduce absenteeism.
Probably more productive.
Exactly, they're a lot more productive, and especially with in some of the middle management type roles, we're starting to get an older workforce these days as well, and it's about keeping them fit, happy, motivated, and making sure that they're productive, because as everyone knows, if you're doing a repetitive job all the time, productivity can drop off. So
and so with CareTrac, how do you make contact with the big employers? Is it how do you go about
What's
that?
the marketing of it?
At the moment, to be honest, they're coming to us, which is great. It's a lot of word of mouth. That's taken a lot of work to get to that stage. So a lot of it was contacting HR departments direct, a lot of networking events where you speak to people, and it's about not convincing them, it's about telling them what we're about and what we can do for their business, and showing them how we can do it, and then they come on board. And now we're at that stage where we'll have employees loving it on CareTrac. They'll change into a new company, tell people in there that they're
Where's my CareTrac membership?
So if someone's with a big corporation and they move to a smaller organisation, they can still use CareTrac?
Depends if they were paying for it themselves. So if they were paying for it themselves, then
it's transferable.
It's transferable. If their employer was paying for it, then no. When they change employees, but that's
do you have like a limit, like a sort of threshold that a company has to have 20 employees or 50 employees before they can come on board? Or?
Yeah, we usually look at companies that have more than 100 employees, and off that we look at getting a minimum of 30 join the CareTrac program. But we will look at also if they're multi-site location as well. So if they had 200 employees but were only in Newcastle, we would refer them to one of the gym chains, because the gym chain can service them. If they've got 100 employees in 7 different locations, then that's where we can help them.
So it's that geographic spread that becomes really important.
Yeah, it does, because it becomes too hard for a wellness person or an HR advisor to look after employees in so many locations. So.
Oh, that's good. So you've done lots of things, bike riding, and worked in Singapore and other places. What's the best bit of business advice you've ever been given?
Never say no unless you have all the information.
Okay.
I think you never know where something will lead, what opportunities could be there. So even when someone says something and your first instinct is to say, no, not interested, you need all the information before you make a decision, because otherwise you could be closing the door on some big opportunity that you didn't know.
Very good advice there.
Yeah, absolutely. Embrace opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, thanks for coming in today, Tristan. You look great in your Hawaiian shirt.
Pleasure.
We've had people in all different sorts of Hawaiian shirt. We had Jacqueline on earlier today, or a couple of weeks ago, when people watched this and had a jacket underneath. It was a bit cold, but it's not too bad. So, thanks for coming in and being part of the Beach Business Breakfast Network. So, just a reminder, Beach Business Breakfast, third Thursday of every month. Check out the website, beachbusinessbreakfast.com.au. So thanks again, Tristan. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks very much.
Yep.